Whispers of Ravenscroft, Chapter 1. The rain fell in torrents as Eleanor Lockwood, a reclusive rider with haunted eyes, stepped off the creaking train onto the rain-soaked platform of Ravenscroft. Her journey to this decaying city had been one of escape, an attempt to outrun the relentless demons of her past that clung to her every step. In a dimly lit corner of the platform, Samuel Hawthorne stood, a brooding artist with a perpetual shadow cast over his countenance. His paintings were known throughout the city for their eerie, almost prophetic quality. Those who gazed upon his works couldn't help but feel an impending sense of doom. Dr. Victor Crane, the eccentric scientist, bustled about the platform with a collection of peculiar devices and instruments. His obsession with unlocking the secrets of the afterlife was well known, though few dared to inquire about the true extent of his experiments. Abigail Thornfield, the librarian, had an air of curiosity about her as she perused a dusty old book that held the secrets of the occult. Her fascination with the forbidden and the arcane led her down paths most would shun. As the train chugged away into the night, the five strangers found themselves facing the imposing facade of the Simmons Inn. It was an eerie place, its time-worn architecture exuding an air of decay and mystery that sent shivers down their spines. The Haunting Inn, Chapter 2. Inside the inn, the elderly proprietors, Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, greeted them with hollow smiles, their eyes betraying a deep weariness that spoke of hidden horrors. It was here that the five strangers would be bound together by fate, seeking refuge from the storm that raged outside. As Eleanor and Abigail exchanged nervous glances, in the dimly lit library their eyes fell upon a forbidden manuscript hidden amidst dusty tomes. The Codex of Shadows it was called, a cryptic text rumored to grant unspeakable power to those who decipher its secrets. Samuel's eerie paintings adorned the walls of the inn, casting a haunting pall over the common room. They seemed to come to life in the flickering candlelight, each stroke of his brush inviting specters of death closer. Dr. Victor Crane, undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, retreated to a corner, engrossed in a peculiar contraption of his own design. His obsession with communicating with the spirits beyond the mortal realm had led him to create a device that blurred the line between the living and the dead. Jacob Mortimer, a wandering poet, scribbled verses in the corner, his words laden with a foreboding darkness. His musing spoke of impending doom, his voice echoing with despair. As the night deepened, strange occurrences plagued the inn, and malevolent whispers began to torment the group. The malevolence beyond the inn's walls, embodied by the Shadowed One, stirred, hungry for the souls of the living. Confrontation in Shadows, Chapter 3. The inn was shrouded in a suffocating darkness, the flickering candlelight casting eerie, dancing shadows on the cracked wallpaper, whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves, echoed through the corridors, chilling the bone. Eleanor and Abigail huddled in the dimly lit library, their breaths shaky and their hands trembling. The Codex of Shadows lay open before them, its pages filled with cryptic symbols and eldritch incantations. Eleanor's eyes widened with a mixture of awe and fear as they attempted to decipher its enigmatic text. In the common room, Samuel's paintings, once haunting, had taken on a sinister life of their own.
The figures within them writhed and contorted, their faces twisted in agony.
Samuel himself watched in horrified fascination, powerless to control the malevolence that had overtaken his art. Victor Crane had retreated to a corner of the room, his bizarre contraption humming with an otherworldly energy. He adjusted the dials and switches, attempting to establish a connection with the spirit realm. As he reached beyond the mortal realm, the line between the living and the dead blurred, and malevolent entities from the other side began to encroach upon the inn. Jacob Mortimer, the wandering poet, found himself at the center of the chaos. He recited verses that seemed to foretell the group's impending doom, his voice trembling with a sense of inevitability. His words hung in the air like a curse, each line sending shivers down their spines. The shadowed one in the cursed forest beyond the inn grew increasingly manifest. Its malevolent whispers tormented the group, exploiting their fears and weaknesses, driving them to the brink of madness. Shapes moved at the edges of their vision, and ghastly apparitions appeared in the flickering candlelight. As the night wore on, the group realized that the malevolence could not be contained without a sacrifice. They stood together in a circle, their faces etched with fear and determination. Each of them faced their deepest fears and confronted the malevolence that had plagued them. In a climactic moment, one among them stepped forward, offering themselves as the sacrifice needed to seal the malevolence once more. Within the codex of shadows, the room trembled with an otherworldly energy as the sacrifice was made and the malevolence was imprisoned once more. The dawn finally broke, its feeble light chasing away the shadows that had enveloped the inn. The storm had passed, but the scars of their harrowing encounter would forever mark them. Ravenscroft stood as a testament to their nightmarish ordeal, and the group knew they could never escape the haunting memory of their encounter with the supernatural.
End of the story. Please subscribe and like the video.